Welcome to Wrestling with WorldWide Willis. And this podcast is presented to you by the LMG Podcast Network. We're excited. This is a great day, folks. I'm excited. This is a special one. I got two of my dogs with me. I know I say everybody's my dog, but today's truly, you know what I mean? This is a special one. This is our first time that we've had our second time, but we got two melanated gentlemen with me today on this podcast. And two of some of my favorites. Two of my guests today, we have L and we have Spenser. We're going to help us today. What's up, fellas?
What's going on? I'm happy to be here.
What's up, man?
Yeah,
excited.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm happy to see y'all today. It'll be a fun time. We're going to talk a little WWE Payback that just happened this past weekend, and then we will hop into our start bench cut. And then we'll talk about our top five. Today, our top five will be top five feuds that we have for each of us. So that'll be fun. And it'll be a lot of debate, a lot of discussion, a lot of thought. You know what I mean? You may agree, may disagree, but let us know otherwise. Okay, so matches of the week. Quickly, I saw this one randomly on Ring of Honor YouTube channel, honestly. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Metalik. It was a really good match. Like, I wasn't the biggest Metalik fan. I like him because he's kind of called the king of the ropes. And his wrestling style is really cool. It's kind of different than other luchadors. He's very, like, instead of a ton of just super high flying, it's more of, like, balance on the rope and things of that nature, which is dope. And then Zack Sabre Jr., I mean, I'll say this. If I ever get, like, wrestling, like, I don't really feel like watching wrestling this weekend, or I'm kind of cool on it a little bit. Want to take a break. If I watch a Zack Sabre Jr. match, I immediately am like, all right, like, what we doing? Like, I'll watch, like, wrestling from the rest of the day. You know what I mean? He's just one of those dudes that get me inspired to watch wrestling. So, their match was really fun. It was for the New Japan television title. Zack Sabre Jr. ended up winning. And I love Zack Sabre Jr. because he uses different submission holds to win different matches. He doesn't have like a go-to submission move, you know what I mean? And that was really fun to watch. El, I remember you mentioned off there that you had a match of the week that you saw as well you want to nominate.
Yeah, that's the Dax Harwood versus Jay White AEW match.
Yeah.
It was a singles match. What was happening right during the pay-per-view
You're
right. Last night, so I had to go back and watch it because Twitter was talking about it so much, so I went back and watched it. It was a nice back and forth match. People need to give Dax some credit on his singles.
Man, every time he's in singles, he kills.
Him and Jay White was killing it.
For real.
And it wasn't slow paced, like they had their moments.
Right.
But it was just like going back and forth. And it was a moment where Dax did a power bomb. Jay White kicked out. He was still laying on the ground from the pin, and he turned it into a sharpshooter.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
That's different. Because he still had his leg from the pin, and he just whipped around there and tried to do a sharpshooter. But Jay White wound up winning.
Oh, Jay White won. I like that.
Jay White did win.
Okay.
But it was just like back and forth. It was a nice little match. I really enjoyed that one for sure.
Dope. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that one out. Like you said, it was going on during the pay-per-view and WWE Payback, so I didn't get to tune into it. But I heard things, and those two guys are like really elite level, so I expect nothing less. I'm going to definitely check that one out. For Payback, just talking about it, for the Payback thoughts, what were your, like, what rating would you give Payback? What was your thoughts? Maybe match of the night, moment of the night?
Overall, if we're rating this like 1 to 10,
yeah,
I'll give it a good 8.
Okay.
I'll give it a good 8. They did have a couple of matches what it felt like how me and you say, or my wife even says it now, like those are Raw or SmackDown matches. Like, what are we doing here?
Right.
Like was a Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory. That was a Raw match.
Right, it was. Definitely was.
And all the matches was killer.
Yeah.
Like, now, the only one that I wish they would kind of kept up the pace was
Mhm.
the women's title match with Rhea versus Raquel.
Yeah, I agree.
They had too many moments where it was just like they wasn't really doing nothing. There was a whole bunch of holds
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah. No, I agree. I
Yep.
mean, it I would give it probably 8.5. I thought it was really good. I thought it, exceeded expectations. I'll be honest. If I was rating my excitement level going in, I was probably about a 6.5. So like
Boy.
you know what I mean? The fact that it delivered, I thought, like you said, the Trish Becky Lynch match, like one of the best women's matches of the year.
That surprised
Uh,
me.
yeah, super surprised me. I wasn't expecting the type of bumps they took. Crazy. Um, that was amazing. Steel cage, obviously the KO Sammy versus the Judgment Day, amazing man. Like that was an outstanding tag match. Um, and then the pretty much most of, like you said, most of the matches hit. Like you said, the Austin Theory, I didn't think they needed that one unless Santos, turned heel. But I get it. They're trying to give Rey Mysterio more, you know what I mean, on his last ride. Like, hey, let's put him on pay per views. You know what I'm saying? I kind of
Right.
get it. And then that final match was really good. Like Shinsuke this felt like old Shinsuke. You know what I
Man,
mean?
I put that in my notes. I was like, this
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of NXT / New Japan
Right.
Shinsuke.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
just the only thing different you could tell he's older.
Yeah,
That's the only
exactly.
thing.
Exactly. But like when he was kicking him and doing all this stuff, it looked like it hurt. And that's what I was saying. Like actually I commented on somebody's account in Instagram and a bunch of people liked it. And I was just like, if he's a striker, you can't feel safe. You know, I understand you're trying to be safe. Everyone wants to be a safe wrestler, but you can be safe while also still, packing a punch. Just like Gunther. Gunther's safe. You know what I mean? No
Yeah.
one's getting truly just hurt. They're
No.
not getting injured. They're getting hurt, but they're not getting injured, which is the difference. And so I think he looked like he was hurting Seth, which is kind of the point,
I like
you know.
that move that he did on the turnbuckle.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like I forgot what they called it
yeah.
because it
Right.
almost reminded me like a Falcon Arrow a little bit,
Yeah, yeah.
but I knew it wasn't. And I
Right,
remember them saying it, but I forgot what they called it because I was like, okay, I never seen him do that before.
right. Yeah. No, he pulled out a few that I had never seen before, like in his bag before. So I was like, okay, I like this. Maybe this is just because he's given more time. I'm not sure, and he's wrestling with someone who can do all these different things in Seth.
Right.
But yeah, overall, man, I thought it was a really good pay per view. I thought, Triple H to me don't miss usually with PLEs, and so even though I wish some changes would have happened, overall it was a success. You know what I'm saying? People were talking about it, and they're talking about it way more than they were talking about some of these other pay per views.
Right.
So,
What do you think about what's the name? Jay Uso returning?
oh yeah, Jay Uso came back. Some idiots were like, "Well, Jay Uso's leaving WWE." I was like, "Nigga, do you think they would let Jay Uso on the mic to a television say I am leaving WWE and actually leave? Like you're stupid."
Yeah, talking about deuces, ooses. You think he really gonna bounce?
Yeah, like he's not gonna leave that bag, bro. But I'm happy for him. I think him on Monday he can separate himself a little bit and kind of kill it. You know what I mean? The crowd loves him. He can do it. He can truly be main event Jay Uso.
That crowd was on fire for him.
Bro, they was rocking, bro. Spencer, you got to listen to. I know you might have heard it, but it's the Usos theme song, Day One, bro. That joint slap, bro.
But he remixed it and said he's the only one.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's without it because usually they're one of the few like that actually did their own theme song. So they basically rapped their own theme song, and before it was both Usos, but this one is just Jay.
It's just Jay.
Um,
It's
yeah,
just me, Oos.
yeah,
I
yeah,
heard that. I
bro.
was like, okay.
Yeah, bro. That joint slap, man. He had the crowd rocking like it was a Jay-Z concert in Madison Square Garden or
Yeah.
something. He was killing,
Like
bro.
the thing that really had me intrigued by that is what Cody said. Like, I hope I don't regret this.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I do like how both the Usos are like quote unquote in out like out of the bloodline, and
Yeah,
now they have to fend for themselves because they done
yeah,
like burned a whole bunch of bridges
right.
because they was been with Roman. So it's like
Yeah,
kind of seeing like you legit by yourself right now because nobody likes you because of your affiliation with Roman.
Yeah.
So
And
that
they
little thing
jumped
with him and
everybody.
Cody was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, they was part of jumping everybody. Now you ain't got your big dog behind you and everybody looking at you like, nah, you jumped me like 2 weeks ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I was
now
like,
you gotta get my get back.
I could have won this title off for your cousin, but you was playing games.
Yeah, facts. Like if I'm Kevin Owens, Cody, Sammy, Brock, John Cena, all of them, I'm like, no, we teaming up and we're gonna just beat the Usos ass. They cost us this title.
Edge.
Yeah, all of them. But yeah, overall, Payback was fire. Spencer, I would suggest going to check it out. Now, I will say there are a few skippable matches. There's about two matches you can just go ahead and just skip. We can just go ahead and just hard
Got two
skip.
of them.
Yeah. But the first one, fire. Sammy and KO versus Judgment Day for sure. After that, hey, up to you. But yeah, those two match of the year candidates for sure. But moving on, now we will get to the game, the start, bench, cut. This one I've been really excited about. My boy Spencer, the game show aficionado, came up with this. You know what I mean? With doing this, and he actually came up with the actual three, wrestlers that we will be, discussing each one. So, Spencer, I'm gonna leave it up to you, sir.
Okay, so if any of you have been here before, you know that we like a good game here
Absolutely.
on the LMG Podcast Network. So today we will be playing a game of Start, Bench, Cut. If you are familiar with this, it is an internet concept where you will usually see a photo of 3 basketball players, and it will say you have to start one, bench one, and cut one. So, for example, it might have a picture of Michael Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron, and it'll say you got to start one, bench one, and cut one. What are you going to do? And people will comment, and it will spark conversation and debate and all that. So what I have done, I have come up with a bunch of different sets of 3, and the 3 of us are going to play start one, bench one, cut one. So you'll decide who you would start, who you would bench, and who you would cut. We're just gonna jump right into it. So
Spencer, I'm sorry,
yes.
just for the record, LeBron start, MJ bench, and cut Kobe. Just for the record.
Okay.
Just for the record. Just so you know what I mean.
You just starting off spicy, ain't you? Goodness gracious.
That's for the permanent record.
Yeah, that's like you can't hide from that now. That's it.
I made this argument a million times. I just wanted to, you know what I mean?
Brendan has also said on the record he wants the smoke. So
yeah, that's facts. That's facts.
I am not surprised that this is what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and what we're gonna do here, so I will, like I said, I'll name 3 people. We'll discuss who's gonna go where. I have several, so we might do a part 2 if that's what the people want. They can let us know that.
Gotta let us know.
And so, gentlemen, are you ready?
Yep.
I'm ready.
Now, Brandon, I know you're a WCW guy, so I'm gonna start you off with a couple WCW options. Okay. So for our first one, Scott Hall, Goldberg, Booker T.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna go. This was a little easy just because I automatically have a cut, I think. Okay. I'm gonna go start Booker T, bench Scott Hall. I'm cutting Goldberg. Gotta cut Goldberg. It's tough, but I just wasn't. I'm not really into I'm not really into 1.5 minute matches. Like that's not really my
man.
It's not why I rock with wrestling. You know what I mean?
All right.
We're talking about like during those days, right?
Yeah, you can do peak everybody.
So like you can do a whole body of work. It's whatever.
Ooh, a whole body. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
My turn now, or
yes.
I would. Man, I'm throwing off what Brandon said.
That's the point.
I
That's why
would,
we're here.
I would start. I would start Goldberg,
Ooh, okay.
bench Booker T, and cut Scott Hall.
Wow.
Okay.
R.I.P. Scott Hall. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, like I love you, but you know, going for the bad guys, but still.
Yeah, I'd start Booker T.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to bench Goldberg and cut Scott Hall.
Golly, man. Come on, man.
That's got me.
He throw the toothpick at you. Come on, man.
I do love some Scott Hall, but somebody got to go.
That's facts. That's facts.
And that Goldberg spear, I need that.
Yeah, I need that too.
That's facts. Spencer, you
and
should
coming
see
through the fireworks too.
Yeah, no, the entrance is tough. The entrance is a tough thing to get over.
Yeah, like being escorted by the police and then
yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, okay. I see y'all's point.
Okay. So for the next one, LaVeris, I'll have you start this one. Kevin Nash, Diamond Dallas Page, Sting.
Ooh,
it's gonna hurt.
And that's the thing. Some of these are not going to be a problem. Then they're going to be difficult. You're just going to be like, oh, easy.
Oh my
Some
God.
of these, you're going to have to. It's going to hurt you to cut somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will start Sting. I will bench DDP. I'll cut Kevin Nash. That hurts me to say that.
Yeah.
Only reason I say I'll cut Kevin Nash because I used to do the diamond cutter on people when I was a kid.
No, yeah. I mean, I get the DDP.
So that was my joint.
Okay. Go ahead.
I agree.
Really?
I will start Sting. I will bench Diamond Dallas Page. I will cut Kevin Nash.
We got Brandon rocking.
Yeah, I'm gonna upset some folks on this one. DDP is my people's champion, so I'm going to start. I'm going to start with DDP. Kevin Nash is the coolest white dude I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? Like, he was one of the few dudes who came out to, he had a do-rag. Like, dude could have wore a do-rag out there, and I'd have been like, all right, that's what we doing.
And he's down for the culture, too, in real life. So
yeah, in real life, he's always been, always. You know what I mean? Theme music, fire. Just, and I like Sting. But when I watch some of his matches, I'm not like, oh my God. You know what I mean? I get the effect he had visually, and his character was dope. But a lot of his character was built off of NWO. Like, it was beforehand. I get the beforehand. He killed it, but he still wasn't on that level. Then when it was him, he was NWO, and he took like the Crow gimmick or whatever. That's kind of what launched him. I got to go bench Kevin Nash, cut Sting.
Okay.
It's tough. It's tough.
I see how we got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see it.
Okay. And for the next one, we have Scott Steiner, Eric Bischoff, Dean Malenko.
Ooh.
So
am I first on this one, Spencer?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that I will have to start Eric Bischoff.
Wow.
Because as wild as that sounds, the invasion doesn't happen without Eric Bischoff.
That's true.
You're right. You're right.
And that was a high time for me.
No, I agree. That was one of my favorite moments in wrestling.
I said it was a high time for probably all of us.
Yeah.
I think I benched Scott Steiner.
Okay.
Cut Dean Malenko.
Oh, it hurts.
I don't
Okay.
like it. I don't like
Yeah,
it at all. I don't like it one bit.
that's tough. Okay.
Mm.
I'm going to Big Papa Pump. I mean, come on, man. When that ambulance music hit, I was going crazy. So
Yeah.
Scott Steiner, one of my favorites ever. I love when he got a push in WCW. So I'm starting Scott Steiner. Yeah, just out of respect and like I used to like be ready for those cruiserweight matches. Like I love those. I'm a bench Dean Malenko. I'm a cut Eric Bischoff, but respect to the man. He literally was one of the reasons I got to see Scott Steiner and Dean Malenko. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Oh my gosh. I I kind of no. I agree with Brandon on that one. I'll do the same. Even though it hurts me because Spencer, you're right. Without him, we wouldn't have a lot of this stuff anyway.
Right.
So that's what kind of it's like, oh, because that almost swayed me
Yeah.
when you said that. But
He
I
killed
had to
it.
think
Even
like,
when he came over, he killed it. Like he killed it in WWE. You know what I mean?
yeah, they still use him sometimes.
They do. They definitely do.
Yeah, like, and I remember when he did the whole 2-minute warning thing. Like,
Oh, that was fire.
it was
Oh man,
fire.
yeah,
Forgot about that.
Yeah, this is where we got some more of the family.
Yeah.
that's true.
When listening to his podcast and stuff, like you learn how like smart he was. Like at first I thought he was just some dude who they picked randomly. But like you see how like smart of a wrestling mind he is. I was like, dang,
Yeah, like he was
Yeah,
masterminding a lot of stuff.
he
yeah,
really
he
was. Like it really wasn't. A lot of the stuff that with WCW wasn't his fault. A lot of stuff was like bigger powers that be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna step into a little bit of 80s. So we're talking about
Ooh, okay,
some 80s guys.
okay.
Okay.
Brandon, you're up first. We're gonna do Hulk Hogan,
God.
Bret Hart,
Oh, I knew you were going. I knew it.
the Ultimate Warrior.
Bro, I
Oh
knew you was
man,
going. You was gonna throw the three dudes that I despise.
this gonna be easy.
Cut all of them.
Bro,
Yeah,
all
this
of them.
gonna be easy.
None of them can wrestle out of a paper bag to me. But okay, God, this is hard to say. Okay, I would probably start. Damn, this is tough because I don't even want to say their names next to start. Like that's how annoyed I am with all three of these people. Okay, I'm probably going start Bret Hart, bench Hulk Hogan. I'm easily cutting Ultimate Warrior. I never understood that. Like that was just dumb to me. He had no talent whatsoever in any area. Like at least Hulk had, talent. He was charisma. He obviously had talent of being a villain, all these other things. But Warrior had no talent whatsoever.
Mm, that was a good argument on that though. Am I going up next?
Yep.
Yeah.
Starting Brett, benching. Oh boy, boy, boy. Oh, because I don't like neither one of these two.
Yeah.
I will bench Ultimate Warrior.
Oh,
I'm cutting Hulk Hogan for reasons.
okay. That I stand with you.
Yeah.
I stand with you.
Reasons
Reasons
that we're here.
Yeah.
I, for the same reasons, I'm gonna have to cut Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
The thing is, I actually want to start him in this because his NWO time, I did like that.
Yeah.
I did like
yeah.
that.
And there are a lot of as absurd as it is, like sometimes his little crowd work was exciting during a match.
Oh yeah, when he pumped
Yeah.
up, like I could.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, "This is corny," and then he actually does it. You watch it live, and you're like, "Oh snap, I get it."
Yeah,
You
like
get goosebumps.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see what's happening here.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I want to start him, but because of reasons, we're gonna have to cut him. That's just how it's gotta
Bro,
be.
gotta
y'all
go.
remind me of that that video that be playing like after every time a 2K comes out, WWE 2K comes out, you always see a video of like 8 black dudes, 8 black wrestlers just beating the dog out of Hulk Hogan. I mean,
Yep.
just doing every
see
worst
that
move you can do.
every year. I see that.
Every year is hilarious too.
And he deserves it.
Every time.
Every
All
year
of
he
it.
deserves it.
That's
Oh,
true.
God.
I can't let that go.
No, I get it. I get it. The thing that pushed me over was like his match with The Rock. That's one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. So I got to give you a little bit of a nod there for me, anyways. But
that match was amazing, though.
No, and that's the thing. Yeah. Like, if it wasn't for reasons, I'd be starting him.
Oh, he'll start immediately.
In this set, yeah, I'd start him. But
I totally agree.
Nope.
Nuh-uh.
I don't hate the Ultimate Warrior.
I do.
I know you do.
That nigga's trash.
I don't.
His paint was trash too.
Honestly, I think I dislike Bret Hart more than I dislike the Ultimate Warrior. So I'm gonna start the Ultimate Warrior and bench Bret Hart.
Why do y'all dislike him?
He's not worth. Are we talking about Bret Hart or the Ultimate Warrior?
No, Bret Hart.
I think Bret Hart is a pretty standard case of overhyping for no reason. Like, for what? Why is Bret Hart in anybody's GOAT conversation? Why is Bret Hart discussed? What is Bret Hart doing that makes him worth talking about? Like, I don't get it.
I agree with that.
And that's the thing. I to the point where I went and like watched Bret Hart match because I was like, I'm missing something. Like, I'm the problem. It's me. I don't get it. But no, I watched Bret Hart matches and I was like, why? What's happened? Is it because he's Canadian?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, Owen Hart was better than him.
That's what I feel like too. I feel like Owen Hart was better than him.
But yeah, the fact that Bret Hart, like, maybe people like this little jumpsuit and his little colors.
and the shades.
Yeah, like
the shades.
I don't get it, and I don't think I will get it because Bret Hart is talked about like he was great, and it's like, no, he wasn't at any point.
I'm not a fan. I feel like he benefited from the time period. I think if you threw Bret Hart over New Japan, they'd be like, oh, this is just a cut and paste white dude. Like, okay, you can do a suplex, so can I. No one cared. But like in WWE, he was going up against Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? Like some of these cartoonish characters, clown, whatever the clown name was, like he was going up against dudes like that.
Oh,
so it was like
Doink the Clown.
Yeah, Doink the Clown, like people like that. Like, so it was like,
on the roster, he looked impressive, I guess.
He looked impressive, but like you throw him over in New Japan or in like, WCW, like I don't think he's reaching the level he reached. Instead, if he didn't have his name and if he didn't go in that time period, like if you throw Bret Hart in there today, they'd be like, "Who the hell is this kid? Like this dude is trash."
Yeah, like, I mean, the way that I'm seeing it, I guess it was similar to if you were to take a high school basketball player and put him on a middle school team, he's gonna be great,
right?
But if you put him with any other high schoolers, then he, in this case, he would be on the bench.
Yeah, and I think I don't know, his run in WCW kind of solidified it, right? Like he didn't do anything in WCW. You know what I mean?
That run was trash.
That run was garbage. I mean, and who knows if Goldberg wouldn't have kicked him in his head, what would have happened? But
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like just cold cocked him right in the head. But
they still got beat to this day.
And that's one thing about Bret Hart. One of the things I don't like, that man is one of the most bitter people I've ever seen in my life.
Bitter.
That man got more beefs than anybody I've ever seen. But yeah, I don't know. I think HBK made him look. HBK, I get. The Bret Hart stuff, I don't.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So for the next one, we have Jake the Snake, the Macho Man, Ric Flair.
Oh, dang! I was hoping that third one gave me a little bit of A break.
LaVeris, it's on you.
All right, I'm starting. Shoot, I'm starting Rick.
Okay.
I'm benching Macho Man. Jake the Snake. I love you. You gotta go. You gotta
I
go.
respect it.
Rick Flair. He's been doing too many cultural things for us in the last like
Facts.
10 years.
Yeah.
And plus, he been dripping before drip was a thing anyway.
Right.
And
Facts.
Macho Man, his storylines back in the day with Elizabeth and all that those are actually good storylines back then to be in the 80s.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start the Macho Man.
Yeah.
Because
I can see that.
Macho Man was too much.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
yeah, like it was so good.
Fair.
Right now I would watch a Macho Man promo
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
and still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like
I'd be dying laughing.
yeah, like
This is little stuff he would do.
he was so good. And I'm gonna have to bench Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to cut Jake the Snake.
That's tough, man. I get it. I'm probably more okay. I'm just going like Randy's one of my favorites of all time. So he's definitely start. I'm doing like Spencer. Start Macho Man, bench Ric Flair. Jake Snake still got the best DDT I've ever seen, but
That's true.
and his promo game was dope and it was different. It was like more like biblical type of,
You
feel like
right.
he's reading the scripture or something, but it's just tough. He's just up against two goats. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
Jake, he gets underrated. You know what I mean? Due to that,
Well, and that's the thing. This is a situation where in a different matchup, Jake the Snake does better.
Oh, I agree.
Right.
I agree.
But
And it wasn't for him. It wouldn't. Stone Cold wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't get that promo from Stone Cold.
Yep.
Long
You
time
don't get
ago.
the Austin 316.
You wouldn't get that if it wasn't for Jake the Snake.
Yep. I literally Jordan. It's funny. Jordan asked me the other day. He was like, "Why did he pick Austin 316?" I was like, "Well, Jake the Snake cut a promo reciting John 316,
Yeah.
and yeah, he literally flipped. He won King of the Ring, flipped it back on him. Austin 316 says, "I whipped your ass," and he was like, "Oh, okay, all right, okay, cool." So yeah, you're right. Like, but yeah, Jake heavily underrated, but it's just he's going up against two goats. You know what I mean? Two of the goats literally in the ring, and two of the goats literally on the microphone. So
Yeah,
it's just tough. It's just tough.
And that's the thing. These matchups, I actually randomized them.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So this is not a situation where I like set them up, and that's why some of them are easier or harder than others.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So now let's get into some women's wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So Becky Lynch, Lita, Asuka.
Oh,
dang man.
am I up first, was or you?
I'll let you go first.
I mean, people hate me. I've gotten a lot of arguments on the internet about this, but easily, well, actually, okay, easily, we're cutting Oscar. We're cutting Oscar.
Oh gosh.
We're cutting Oscar, bro. And look, Oscar's body of work, great. Past Oscar, younger Oscar, I'm like, okay, I see it. I see it. But to me, Oscar hasn't had, like, bro, she's been given the title twice. And in this latest run, literally the only reason people tuned into that match was to see Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. No one even acknowledged she was the actual champion. That's how little star power she has to me. Like, she just doesn't have it. It's unfortunate. I don't know if it's the crossover, really, because I don't think that's it. Because in NXT, she was like a star. You know what I mean? For them,
Yeah.
I just think, again, maybe it's the Shinsuke thing where like coming over here and being on the main roster, dealing with Vince McMahon, like she had to pull her punches a little bit, but just, the matches just don't hit. And then her star power ain't there, so she's definitely cut easily. We're definitely benching Lita, and we got to start Becky. Becky's like top 3 GOAT, conversation. And she just put on a match of the year candidate last night. You know what I'm saying? And Becky just came out of nowhere, but she's the man,
I agree. I want to cut Lita because back in
How
the
she
day,
did, how she did
how
you.
she did Matt Hardy,
Mm-hmm.
because that was real life.
Mm-hmm.
Real life.
Yeah, and so for a minute I was like, I hate that bitch because I liked her because she was with the Hardys, and
Right.
she wasn't doing the same shit that all the other women wrestlers at the time were doing that I was seeing.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like she was, kind of on some emo shit,
Yeah.
and she gave me Paramore vibes, and I was like, I like this. I can
Yeah.
get behind this. And then what she did to because I also at the time I didn't like Edge, and
I don't think anybody did.
and
Nobody did.
I didn't care as much for Matt Hardy. Like Jeff Hardy was my guy.
Right.
But
my God, boy, everybody
by relation, I fucks with Matt Hardy too, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
And so when Lita was with the Hardy Boys, and then she did him the way she did, and then that was the story that I was like, okay, wrestling is real. These are not made up stories.
Right.
This is actually this is real. It's happening. And so whenever she did Matt Hardy like that, I was like, I do not like her anymore. She can go die in a fire right now. And I was a child, so
right, yeah.
whatever. But I'm gonna have to bench Lita because she was still great. So I'm gonna start Becky Lynch, I'm gonna bench Lita, and I'm gonna cut Asuka.
Oh boy.
You're more of an Asuka guy, so I'm interested.
I do like Asuka. And I understand what you're coming from, Brandon, but is that her fault or booking?
See, and that's also a thing I've got on the internet arguments over this too. People keep leaning on the booking thing with Asuka, and I'm like, bro, she's gotten the booking pass more than any other women's wrestler I've ever seen in my life.
But the only reason I'll say that because NXT and main roster, the same guy was
true.
Now doing the same, now doing what he did with his last run.
True, but it's like you came in, you had a streak, you lost to Charlotte. Okay, cool. Then you had time to run it back then after that. Nothing. Then they handed you the belt that you did not earn during the pandemic. Bro, no one cared until Sasha got the
money
belt.
Money in the bank?
Yeah.
Money in the bank?
Yeah. Like you won the Money in the Bank, but you didn't actually beat Becky. Becky hands it to you because Becky is having a child. No one remembers that title reign, Asuka's title reign, until the point Sasha beats her, I believe. I think it was Sasha or Bayley. One of them two beat her. Then we remember, oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I remember that. I remember the pandemic era being Sasha and Bayley. No one remembers Asuka. It's unfortunate, but it's just not, you know what I mean? Her best matches are with, like, Sasha. It's like with somebody else. You know what I mean? She got to be with a GOAT to have a great match to me.
Oh, man. Dang it. I'm starting Becky.
Okay.
Because all her work she has done, and that match last night.
Right.
I didn't know Trish can go like that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Until last night. Even though she had the huge knot on her forehead.
She did.
Thing was huge.
She did.
I'm going to bench. I'm benching Asuka. I'm cutting Lita. I can't let that go.
That's fine.
I can't.
That's fine.
I can't let that go. Wrestling is real, damn it. So
you're right.
I respect it. She literally made Matt Hardy ran in unsanctioned, even said Ring of Honor on television, which at that time was like an absolute no. This nigga was like, I'm leaving. I'm going to Ring of Honor. I'm going to, like, he was like legit mad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And one thing too that think about, like, how long was her reign in the WWE, like as a singles person?
It wasn't. I feel like her and Trish, didn't they pass it a little bit back and forth a little bit?
Then when she got with the Hardys and did the Edge, like, I don't remember her being in singles that much after, like.
Well, and I think because what I remember was I feel like she got with Edge and then she got pregnant and then Snitsky killed her baby. And he did the whole it wasn't my fault thing.
That's right.
I I attributed her not wrestling to the pregnancy, whether or not that was a real thing. But
Right.
yeah, because
No, you're
that
right.
sounds like some Vince McMahon shit
Yeah, it
to
does.
have her be pregnant and then have the baby not make it because of some.
Yeah, like that
That's
definitely is a Vince thing. But no, I don't remember a long reign from her.
Like that's besides, the Matt Hardy stuff, but that's the other thing I think about is like I don't remember besides her and Trish, is like
Yeah,
what
because
else?
like when I think about the time when like we had Tori, Stacy Keibler, even Mickey
yeah,
James, like I don't remember Lita doing a lot of wrestling. I just remember
Like
her being
yeah,
there with Edge and like throwing in a low blow so he could win from time to time.
yeah, exactly,
or
exactly.
Victoria, all of them. Like yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's facts.
Yeah, Jazz, Victoria, all of them were there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a good point.
Well, yeah. All right. For the next one, we have Tiffany Stratton,
Okay.
China,
Hmm.
Sasha Banks,
dang
Oh,
it,
LaVeris.
starting Sasha.
of course.
Uh, for multiple reasons.
Yeah, reasons. Amen.
All the reasons.
You said who else? You said Tiffany and China.
Yep.
I'm bitching Tiffany. I'm cutting China.
Okay.
The only reason I say that with China, yeah, she was the ninth wonder of the world. The thing is, where was WWE back then trying to pull that mess is like, okay, women can do it too. And they just spoon fed that.
Mm, gotcha.
Because when you think about it and kind of watch it back, she was in some weird matches at that time too when she went singles and went for the Intercontinental Championship stuff.
The fact that she won the Intercontinental Championship
It's
uh
weird.
is yeah.
It's
But
amazing and weird at the same time.
It's amazing and
agreed.
weird.
Yeah, because I feel like she beat a little dude. I forgot dude's name. I could see his face. He was a little guy. Um, and she beat him for the title. It was like a no name guy. At the time, I think he ended up
I
being a
want to
producer
say it
after.
was Jeff Jarrett.
Was it Jeff?
Was it Jarrett?
Don't
She
quote that,
beat
but I want to like in my head it was Jeff Jarrett.
because she beat a dude in the 2000. It was like early 2000. I think Jeff was gone maybe by
Oh, I
then.
thought it was like 90.
I thought it was 90s too.
I thought it was 98.
Nah, because she had Eddie Guerrero with her when she won the Intercontinental title,
Okay.
and Eddie wasn't there till like what, like 2000, 99, 2000, I think. But I remember watching it was either WrestleMania or SummerSlam, and she beat the dude, and Eddie had the European title. I forgot what it was, um, but no, nevertheless, like she won it. Like that's amazing. I mean, honestly, they probably should do that again with Rhea Ripley at some point.
They
Because
keep giving those vibes.
that's
Yeah, I
what
do.
she and
Yeah,
Dominic or
yep,
Dominic that's what that is.
yeah, it really
Oh, it
is.
was Jarrett. You right, it was
It
Jarrett.
was Jarrett. Okay, did she win it twice?
She
Or
won it
maybe,
twice.
Oh,
okay, maybe I'm thinking the second.
I only remember her having it once. So
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Because I feel like I saw her beat a dude. He was small, but I didn't watch the Jeff Jarrett. I think you're right. I think the Jeff Jarrett must have been early because Jeff was gone by the 2000s. Um, but yeah, I probably agree with L on this one though. Like I'm probably
I think I do too.
yeah. Like China was great, especially for that time. Like she just stood up. She gave you the look, which all Vince cared about at the time. But then also she
Yeah.
could like wrestle and do some things and actually be involved. And
Because
and that's what I kind of like about
I think
Rhea now.
China's whole thing was like they could put her up against men and she could
Exactly.
actually hold
Yeah.
her own.
She was
Yeah.
Whereas
doing nice moves.
like that wasn't a thing a
Yep.
lot.
Yep. I remember when she was helping. Yeah, she was a key member of DX. Like amazing.
Yeah.
It's more of a generational thing. More Sasha just came in changed the game for women's wrestlers. And then Tiffany probably benefited from that. Tiffany's just an amazing athlete and then a really good wrestler at the same. Like started out as an amazing athlete, has picked up wrestling really, really, really fast.
Super fast.
Yeah, to the point where she's the NXT Women's Champion, and she's
maybe facing Becky.
Yes, she might face Becky pretty soon, which would be fire. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
And in Tiffany Stratton, like only 25.
Yeah, bro, she just got here.
Like she's fresh.
Yeah, she literally just got here and picked it up. Yeah, man.
All right. Now we're gonna step into my time. So these are the people that, or some of the people that I vividly remember. We go way back.
Yeah, I feel like this is more hot take area. This is gonna be more like we all disagree.
We're gonna
somebody might get in trouble.
Who knows? Yeah. All right. Billy Gunn, JBL, Kane.
Oh, okay.
So this is one of the ones I was like, yeah, this got shuffled.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some of these that I'm going to read off, and you're going to be like, there's no way that was shuffled. But this is one of the ones that's like, yep, that's a good shuffle.
Yeah, that Bret Hart one didn't feel shuffled, but
that's what I said. Because there were not that many of them, so that's why that
makes sense.
The way it did. But I'll go first on this one. Okay. I'm going to start Kane.
I already knew.
I'm going to bench JBL, and I'm going to have to cut Billy Gunn.
That's daddy ass. That's tough.
That's tough. I like Billy Gunn. I didn't necessarily need to get mooned every time I saw him, but the Famouser is a cool little move, and I like the groups he was a part of, but standing on his own, he's not hitting like JBL or Kane to me.
Gotcha. For me, I'm starting Kane, of course. I rock with Billy Gunn, man. Road Dogg Billy Gunn was one of my favorite tag teams, especially
that combo was
especially they was before that revolution with Edge, Christian, Hardy's, Dudley's, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So they kind of got their time to shine before these next generation came out. And then he was just part of DX. Famouser was tough. He had a nice little jackknife. Okay, I'm probably gonna go, and he's still going today. He's part of the Acclaimed, one of the most popular groups in wrestling. I'm gonna go. Yeah, exactly. Trios champ. I'm gonna go Billy Gunn. I'm gonna go JBL. It's tough for JBL because you know how I love a clothesline. You know how I love a good clothesline. And that was one of the clothesline from hell literally made me love clotheslines and the APA and all that. So him by himself, I'm going cut.
Man, I agree with Brandon. I gotta cut JBL. I gotta that whole cowboy thing he did by himself.
Yeah. I liked that heel JBL, like
I kind of liked it too,
like the Texas Longhorn, splish splash of racism, capitalist.
He ran a Mexican dude to the border, fam.
Yeah, like I liked heel JBL, because like he was just a terrible guy. But I was like, I know you're not racist because you were with Farouk for years.
Yeah,
like
Farouk would play that
with this black dude for
and like of all people,
he don't play.
He was in the nation of. He was the leader of the Nation of Domination. I know for a fact that So I knew he was in character.
Right.
Just because I remember his APA days where he was drinking beer and like answering calls for people who needed something. And then he dyed his hair blonde, got him a cowboy hat, and came out in a limo.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. And changed his name to John Bradshaw Layfield. All right. That's okay.
This looks like something you'd read.
I'm about to say, when all of a sudden you get some money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then he wrote a book
about
money. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
dude is. Yeah, man, that was a really good gimmick change. I ain't gonna hold
So
you.
I and like the random times he would get in the announcer booth with
Yeah,
JR and Jerry the King Lawler. I was like,
yeah,
this is great. I like JBL.
Yeah.
Like I'm supposed to hate him, but I like him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those facts,
And he'd be lopping people's heads off.
bro. I know it was a couple of
That
them dudes got concussions.
Oh yeah.
that clothesline was something vicious.
Oh
Like that was probably one of my moves on one of those SmackDown games back in the day.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And don't let him get momentum.
that's what he run up against some ropes.
Yeah, like
Oh,
once he
it's
hit
a
that
wrap.
rope, I was like, uh-oh.
Here it go.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was something. He was flipping people over.
Yeah, bro.
And that's
They
the
didn't
thing.
even.
You know it wasn't fake because like it was like when he'd hit it, sometimes it looked botched.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Yeah,
that's how you knew it was real, is the
yeah,
fact that like some people didn't take it well.
yeah. You didn't even have to
Mm-mm.
sell. You didn't
Yeah,
have
like
to sell.
you just had to take it.
Right.
You just have to just take this hit
Yeah.
and let me pin
Facts.
you.
But yeah, so I gotta keep JBL in there.
I get it.
Okay. For the next one. Mick Foley, Rey Mysterio, Big Show.
Oh, oh, you'll make me destroy some legends today. Who's first? Was there?
I went first that time. Brandon, you're first.
Okay. Oh, this is tough because I highly dislike Big Show. Not a Rey Mysterio guy.
Sounds like you're starting Mick Foley then.
Yeah, I'm definitely starting Mick Foley. Mick Foley, I just got to put like respectful. That dude is just amazing. Every character he did, every match he did, like he just didn't care about his body. You know what I mean? And
he put his body on the line for this company.
Yes, man, and he
over
killed
and
it
over
with,
again.
He killed it with like those like hardcore matches, but then he also killed it with like being at the top of the top with The Rock, you know what I mean? And so gotta put him up there.
And I'll talk about him in a second. Go ahead.
No, and then I'm gonna bench Ray. Gotta bench Ray. I love Ray, and I love him. I love WCW Ray. I love early WWE Ray. You know what I mean? I understand his contributions. He's the GOAT, luchador of all time. Gotta respect that. And then I'm definitely cutting Big Show. It's a waste of space. Like it's like drafting Greg Oden and not getting no returns.
Wasn't that bad. It wasn't quite Greg Oden, but yeah, you're not. Yeah,
I know Vince was like,
there.
I got another. I know Vince was like, I got Eric Bischoff. I drafted you know what I mean, a next Undertaker. And he was just like, well, all right, we're gonna put him. This is a gimmick guy.
I mean, yeah, like he's a spectacle, like Andre the Giant.
Exactly. He's gonna be comedy and a spectacle. Exactly. Definitely cutting him.
His slaps to the chest though, like that was.
Oh yeah,
that was one reason I came to see the Big Show. But like other than that, like choke slam, whack.
How you be that big?
Choke slam.
Yeah, how you be that big in a trash choke slam? Don't understand. And you're down the hall from Kane and Undertaker. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and the Big Show didn't like have moves, like
none.
So yeah.
Then he had that knockout punch thing.
Oh my god,
just ridiculous.
Dumb. Like he just tap your chin and be like, like no, bro. I'm good. Yeah,
You're not Floyd Mayweather. What are you?
Yeah, that's on me. Spectacle, bro. Like it was dumb.
Oh man. My next.
Yes.
I will start Kane.
We're
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley.
Oh, I forgot. Mick Foley. Mick Foley.
Yeah.
My bad. Mick Foley, of course, because all the characters he played.
Right.
Like for one, you do a Royal Rumble and you play all three of those people in a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like that makes no sense. Your endurance is ridiculous for that.
Yeah.
And like the Hell in a Cell, or even remember when they start doing those halftime on the Super Bowl? They'll have those matches during halftime with him and The Rock.
Yep.
that was crazy because nobody was in the arena but them two.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which people probably don't even remember when they used to do that back in the day.
Yeah, that's back in the day too.
I'm benching Ray. It's a short. I can't cut a short king. I'm short too, so I can't do that. But I'm definitely cutting a big slow.
Yeah.
You doing like that?
Go.
Same. I'm absolutely going to start Mick Foley because Mick Foley, he made an excellent point to CM Punk. I think that's who he was talking to, but he was like, how long was I the champion? I was the champion for like
that's right.
80
he definitely
days.
Did. That was a fire promo.
I am in the GOAT conversation.
Yep.
So you shut your mouth, child.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah. So yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that's something that didn't even occur to me. I was like, Mick Foley's title reigns. Like I don't give a fuck about that at all.
None. I think he said he had 2 in like 26 days. It was something like that. It lasted 26 days.
Yeah, it was not long, but whenever he made that point, I was like, you're right. I don't care about that when it comes to you.
Nope.
About moments, man.
Yeah, Mick Foley, I have watched you put your body on the line for this company. You have literally bled, sweat and cried and all of that you have let these men beat the shit out of you. And you did it with a smile.
Yeah, he had a tooth in his nose.
Bro.
That is falling from top of a cage. Nah, bro. You different. You different.
Yeah. So like the fact that thumbtacks and he was like, do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it. Yep.
Yeah.
Do it. I'll take the thumbtacks. And I was like, you're gonna take a spine buster?
Yeah.
On thumbtacks.
Stupid.
Yeah, you gotta that's a different level of if you're gonna talk about it, be about it.
He made me respect different body types. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm never gonna be like, oh, that dude, I can take that dude. Nah, I'm gonna put some respect on him because you never know.
You never know.
He might be crazy.
Yeah, he might be crazy and can take whatever bump I give to him.
But also, he's not athletic. Like, he's not what Vince is looking for at all.
Exactly.
And the fact that Vince was like, nah, we need him.
Yep.
Like, that only speaks to how talented he was because, that's not the guy you hire, for the look.
Right.
And they let him they let him just be whatever character he wanted to be. Yep. There were points when he was sad and depressed, and then there were times when he was jolly and happy to be here, all in the same week.
Yeah, or he was just a ladies' man.
Yeah, or he was out there
ladies' man
dancing,
like corny. Yep.
Having a good time. Yeah, so yeah, he was. I think I would say he's underrated because he's not talked about often.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bench Rey Mysterio because I'd much rather watch Rey Mysterio do anything than the Big Show.
Agreed. That's a clear indicator right there.
Yeah, I mean the Big Show, he's probably good. He's good for like podcasts. He's good for interviews.
Yeah.
Conversation pieces.
If you need to clear the ring out.
Outside the ring.
Yeah.
He can do stuff. But in the ring, no. I'm good.
Whenever there's a Royal Rumble and there's just too many people in the ring, I'm like, all right, this is when you need Big Show to come in, clear about 6 dudes out, then get out, then I'm good now.
That's the thing. Kane is better at that.
It's true. And it's more believable.
Yeah, Kane is so much better at just ruining like 8 people's chances.
Exactly. But he has the most eliminations ever.
And he should.
Yeah.
All right. I got one more for us.
Okay.
Eddie Guerrero, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels.
Oh,
God.
Jeez.
LaVeris? I'm gonna let you start.
Yeah, you gotta go first on this one, buddy.
Shawn Michaels, Eddie, Undertaker. Oh boy. People may be upset.
I already know where Spencer going.
Yes, you know exactly where I'm going.
Uh, I'm starting Sean.
Oh,
Oh, I like
oh
it.
my!
We're gonna get
Alrighty.
spicy.
Yes, we
Okay.
are today.
Okay.
Man, this is hard.
That's a tough. That's the
I feel
worst
like
one.
either way, this is gonna be mentioned no matter what I say on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Oh my gosh. I'm benching Undertaker or I'm cutting Eddie.
Oh.
Okay.
That did not feel good at all.
That's
Like the
that's
reason why it's the longevity for me with Undertaker.
Yeah.
this is a difficult game to play.
Yeah.
Like the WrestleMania record.
Right.
Like the match with him and Shawn in WrestleMania.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Or him and Triple H at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Or him and anybody else at WrestleMania.
Right.
Yeah, really just him at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Yeah.
him and WrestleMania is just like, oh man.
That was the
And the
attraction
main thing I
alone
can think
for.
about Eddie Guerrero, besides him live cheating and stealing, is the whole thing with him and Ray and Dominic Mysterio. That's the main thing I think about when it comes to Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Makes
they didn't give him a
sense.
good run to me.
So here's what I'm gonna do. Y'all know, on the permanent record, The Undertaker is the GOAT for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start The Undertaker, which should surprise no one.
No one. Yeah.
Nope.
I'm going to bench Eddie.
Wow.
And I'm going to cut Shawn Michaels.
Boy.
Oh wow.
Now, while I see your point in the things you think about are the lying, cheating, stealing, and the Dominic situation, those two things specifically, for me, the Dominic thing, that's one of the best, like, that's one of my favorite storylines that I saw. It was one of the best things that WWE did that I was like, oh my God, like, it had me, like, soap opera level compelled.
Right.
Like, I was invested in that boy.
Right.
Because, like, whenever Uncle Eddie went to go, like, see him at the park, and he was just on the swing, and Eddie was like, yeah, keep going. And then he looked in the camera all menacing. I was like, oh my
Right.
God, I felt that. I
Right.
was like, that's Oscar performing right there.
Yeah.
Because Eddie had me feeling something.
Right.
I was like, Ray, you better go save that boy. And then the lying, cheating, stealing thing, Eddie was one of the most creative in the ring that I had seen. Eddie, I think, is one of the best when it comes to utilizing outside factors during a match.
Boy,
there's
he was.
nobody better that I had seen that would use creative ways to, manipulate the outcomes.
Right.
And while I understand the whole lying, cheating, stealing concept being tied to him being Latino was an issue, I knew it then.
Yeah.
But Vince did some wild shit across the board.
He did.
I
He
heard
checked all the marks.
Vince has used the N-word on live television.
On live TV with the
while
do-rag.
wearing a do-rag.
Yeah.
So I don't hold that against Eddie.
Right.
I am sure Eddie had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Eddie was
That's
like,
true.
if that's how it's gotta be, then fine. And it was a different time. So I don't hold that against Eddie, but Eddie did the best he could with it, because even though he was doing that, everybody still loved him.
Right.
Yeah,
like, we all still loved and respected Eddie for, all of the mess that he had to, put up with in that regard. But with all of that, like I said, Eddie was one of the most creative in the ring that I had ever seen. And he has a special place in my heart with all of the stuff that he was able to do. And like all of the, talent that he had, but also the comedic elements that he was able to add to matches. And everything. Yeah, like for me, I'd rather watch an Eddie match than a Shawn Michaels match.
I can see that. I can see that. Especially those chair spots when he thrown in the chair and he pass out on the ground.
Bro, hilarious.
Yeah. Like Eddie was one of the best at like creating a situation that I ever saw.
Yeah. This is tough. I'm gonna start Taker.
Correct.
He's probably my favorite big man ever to do it. The whole HBK Eddie argument, man. That's what's holding me.
No, I too had to like really think about it.
Right, Eddie. Yeah, has a special place in my heart. I'm a WCW guy. That's why I first discovered Eddie. Him and Rey Mysterio's matches. Him and Juventud Guerrero. Him and Chavo. Him and Dean Malenko. Him and Chris Jericho. Like that was my introduction to wrestling. Like literally, I learned wrestling through watching Eddie Guerrero. So that's a special place in my heart. The only reason that makes this debatable to me is I'm not a huge HBK fan, like 90s HBK. I'm not really a fan of that for some reason or another.
You don't like the mullet HBK?
Yeah, I don't like the asshole HBK. I don't like the unsanctified HBK. You know what I mean? When he came back,
yeah, and that was real life too. For people who don't know that,
exactly. Like when he came back and got baptized, I was like, "Hey, I rock with this," because he like it felt more like an older HBK who, yeah, I can't do all the flips and all that stuff anymore, but I can wrestle with the best of them, and I love those type of storylines. And like his match with Triple H at SummerSlam, fire. His match, pretty much all his matches since, even like you mentioned, the one with WrestleMania with him and Taker back to back. Like some of Taker's best matches were with Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean? And so that's the only, like, Shawn Michaels' second run is the only reason making it debatable for me. I'm going to go just out of my heart. I learned wrestling through Eddie, so I'm going to go bench Eddie, cut HBK. But, like, if I had that second run HBK the whole time, I would probably go his way. But, yeah, it's tough. That's a good way to end it.
Okay.
That's a tough one. No, it was a good game. We'll definitely do a part 2. Definitely got to do a part 2 because there's so many wrestlers I'm just thinking of now. I'm like, dang, like we hope we don't put them two together.
Like, I would. There are a lot of these where like you might have to have the same come to Jesus.
Yeah, no facts.
Because some of these like I've got plenty more. So I mean, there's a slew of wrestlers that are still out there that people are probably looking for to hear. So just know that there are more on the list, and you may have to tune in to see who else shows up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we will definitely bring this back. All right, to finish it off, we're doing our top 5s. You know how top 5s go around here. And today our top 5 subject is feuds, rivalries, right? Our top 5 favorite rivalries. So each of us will present 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, et cetera. You know how it goes around here. And I will start us off. I may end up, this is a big one, so this may be on both y'all's lists, I'm not sure. But number 5 for me is Dudley's, Hardy's, Edge, and Christian. That whole run there they had, like that changed tag team wrestling. That changed wrestling really in general, right? It changed the attitude era. It added like a whole different aspect to it as far as it kind of upped the game as far as tag teams. Because I mean, during that time, tag teams was loaded. We just hadn't seen like aerial tag teams take off like that, or tag teams take off that were like, no, I use this specific weapon and I kill it with this specific weapon. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, just their rivalry and just like, two of them, like Dudley's and Edge and Christian would have a match, banger. Hardy's, Edge and Christian would have a match, banger. You know what I mean? All of would touch base. I actually saw a clip with like, I guess when the Dudleys got inducted to the Hall of Fame, like they were like, nah, like Edge and Christian come up here on the stage with me. Hardy's come up here on the stage with me, stand next to us, because he was like, you guys are the reason we're up here. You know what I mean? Because like we created history, and like so many of our moments, especially like us people were like the Attitude Era kind of, you know, birthed us as far as wrestling fans. Most of the moments are from these three teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So definitely that rivalry, Dudley's, Hardy's, Edge and Christian, that rivalry was and feud was amazing. L, you wanna I'll have you go next.
I'll go next. I
Mm-hmm.
got it's another tag team one. It's different.
Okay.
I got New Day versus the Usos.
I like it. They had a dope rivalry.
They had so much culture and
Yeah,
all up in there. It was just like and it wasn't some like racist mess that Vince would
right,
probably put up in there, knowing who's off in there. Now they
right.
did have a rap battle.
They
They
did
did
have
have
a
a
rap
rap
battle.
battle.
They did have a rap
They
battle,
did
Which
have a rap
I
battle.
didn't
that's
mind.
fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
That should have been the only one they did. Because that first one, when they did, it was some personal stuff up in there.
yeah. Wale was there. Yeah, they was talking about
They was talking
yeah,
about
bro.
somebody's tapes.
Yeah, well, tapes. They was clowning each other. It just felt like authentic. You know what I mean? It felt like okay, like this is what we would really see on the on the courtyard on the like anything. And you're right. And they had some banger matches. I remember the Hell in the Cell match.
And that was the first tag team Hell in a Cell they ever.
That's true. Yeah, I remember, bro, when they had Austin Cruz, um, like he was hanging by the barricade, and they was hitting him with them
Oh,
kendo sticks, bro. I felt so. That was one of the few times I felt bad for a wrestler because
yeah,
like they was hitting his like kendo sticks is nothing to play with. And then when
yeah.
somebody hits you in your ribs, consist like back to back to back to back to back, he was like, "Oh, okay." Like he literally was like, "Okay, okay, stop, okay." Like,
Yeah,
like
because
I think
it's
he was
like if you ever
legit.
heard them talk about that match in real life,
Yeah.
during that time, he almost separated his shoulder. Because you remember
See.
he was hanging off of there and it
Yeah.
was dangling and he slipped
Right.
and he said his shoulder was about to pop right up out of there.
See. That match was it was just so much creative stuff that we had. And that's always what happens. Like you throw a tag team in there, good tag teams, they always change the game as far as whatever the match is, stipulation is. But no, you're right. That was a fire. I forgot about that rivalry. It's a good one.
Okay. Okay. May I have to ask the refs if this one will play.
Okay.
For number 5, I have WWF versus WCW.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
Because that was direct competition.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a lot of poaching. We saw a lot of they were playing dirty.
Oh yeah. Bro.
Yeah, it was.
Because I remember when DX actually went
Pulled up.
to unsanctioned, like
Yeah.
didn't ask permission, they just did it.
Yep.
And I was like, they didn't plan it, they didn't set this up. No, this is they really actually did that.
Yep.
Yeah, like this is real.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bro.
So that was that was top promotion versus top promotion.
Yep.
It was a wild time because back then you could do whatever the fuck you wanted.
You could.
Right.
You could do whatever, bro.
There was no decorum.
None.
Back then. So
bro, they literally told WCW, found out that because WCW was live, WWF was not live, and so they found out Mankind was going to win the title later on that night. So they literally thought they were spoiling it. They told the people who were watching WCW, Mankind's win the title tonight over there at WWF. They thought that was going to hurt WWF. All the fans was like, "Oh shoot, I'm about to go over to WWF. I'm gonna change the channel." And then the moment still hit. You know what I mean? So
and that's
yeah,
one of the most memorable moments because you got everybody up in there. Rock, Austin, Vince,
DX.
Shane. They was all up in there.
Yep. Yeah, they had no decorum, bro. None. It was a dirty game back then, bro.
So yeah, that's absolutely that's my number 5 is WCW versus WWF.
I like it.
Think about that. I
definitely had that on my list. Number 4 for me, I'm gonna go with Bayley versus Sasha. Bailey versus Sasha NXT days. That's still one of the greatest women's match I've ever seen. Bailey versus Sasha at Brooklyn, Takeover Brooklyn.
That was
It's
good.
just, man, it was just at that time I knew women's wrestling could be good. I knew it could be there if you actually had some women's wrestlers who were actually like talented. I didn't know like, oh snap, it's now, like it's happening now. You know what I mean? And just to see them two doing just stuff you just would see goats do all the time, like just like I remember when Sasha like got her in the cripple crossface, and at the whole match she was messing up Bailey's arm, and Bailey like used her trying to get her arm to like trying to get her hands off her face. She stomps on her other arm, like just
Oh my
vicious stuff
gosh.
you didn't see in women's wrestling at the time. You saw it in men's. Men's, they would always do whatever to win. Women's was like it felt like they weren't aware of what was going on. Where like this was a time where it was like, nah, like I attacked somebody's weak at certain things, like I'm gonna attack it to win. And yeah, man, that match, the crowd was crazy. It was Sasha's. I think it was almost Sasha's send off match, or she had one more after that.
She had
But
one more after that.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, she was pretty much almost done with her NXT run. So it was kind of like you're catching two at the best of the best. And at that time, NXT people was watching NXT more than they was watching the main roster in general. So yeah, that rivalry, I think, literally Four Horsemen included, changed women's wrestling and wrestling in general. Yeah,
That was definitely in my honorable mention for sure.
yeah.
My number 4 is Omega versus Okada.
Oh, okay. I thought about that one.
Those matches for the people who, and it's hard to find those matches on YouTube because it's New Japan and the copyrights and all of that.
Right.
But if you can find a good one,
yeah,
they didn't have, I think, 4 matches, I believe.
I want to say 4 or 5. Yeah, I agree.
Or 4 or 5. All of them.
Yep.
Like the pageantry of New Japan. Like the stuff they wore to the ring.
Yep.
Like them, and it was just like nonstop.
Yep.
Every match. To the point where you don't know who is going to win each one.
And over there, like your finisher's protected. So when they do actually hit it, you think it's over. And then if somebody kicks out, it's like, oh, snap. Whereas over here, it's like somebody kicks out a finisher. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. Like you expect somebody to kick out a finisher.
Like with them, it's like you didn't know.
Yeah. Like Okada's Rainmaker, it was like you don't kick out of that. Like no one ever has. Yeah. And then
or those you don't kick out of that.
Yes. I just got put up on those matches and I missed it. And I went back and watched it. I was like, my God, this is a different level of wrestling.
And that's where a lot of those little Melter ratings were, that's when it started really taking up steam back then because of them.
Yep, you're right. So I think most of those are 5 stars, which is rare.
I'm pretty sure all of them are. I'm pretty sure all. And one of them, I want to say one of them, he gave him a 6-star.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
I think.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. That's a really good choice. I thought about that too. Okada is one of my favorites. I wish he was in WWE so bad. I really do. I think he would kill it in WWE. He's just the perfect pageantry, all that stuff you were talking about. It's perfect for WWE.
That's definitely my number 4.
Good choice. Okay. Spencer is a Kenny Omega hater, I would say. But it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. And again, I think that for Kenny Omega, it's a situation where perhaps I have not given him the proper amount of time. But so far, I'm not super impressed by Kenny Omega.
So you've been watching like AEW version of him?
Yes.
It's a difference.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
It's a difference.
I should have asked that.
It's like it's definitely watered down.
Yeah. I don't think I have seen New Japan Kenny Omega. I guess I'll say that.
Yeah,
it's a different level because even AEW fans is like, man, is Kenny Omega washed? Like, is he? You know what I mean?
Especially when he first got there, it was just like, this ain't Kenny.
Yeah,
and people still think that to this day about him.
That
he is
might
older
explain
now.
that then.
Yeah, he is older now. Like he's early 40s, I believe.
And he had all those injuries. That's why he was gone for a little bit.
Yeah, he's got hurt a lot. But no, he's right. Like 2007, 16, 17, 18, like that literally that honestly, a lot of people say Kenny Omega versus Okada is what started the buzz to then create an AEW. So like they were kind of built off of those matches. So
Yeah.
If you can find them, or you can just find anything Kenny Omega, New Japan, that's probably the best place to go. But I get it. AEW, I definitely could see where you think it, man. He hasn't done a ton. He has a few matches that are great, but most of them are like,
Well, him and Ospreay.
Yeah, him and Ospreay, him and Daniel Bryan. But other than that,
yeah, that's only two. I don't even like the one him and Moxley. That was okay.
Yeah, I hate Moxley, but.
Number 4 has already been talked about, but Dudley's, Hardy's, Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
They redefined tag team wrestling, and they made. I mean, if it wasn't for the Dudley Boys, I don't think tables would be like tables were my goal in every wrestling game.
Oh my god!
I don't care what kind of match it is. I don't care what we're doing. Somebody's going through a table.
Like that announce table is going down.
Yeah. Sometimes there were 2 announce tables out there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. like that was like my checklist. I was like, okay, I gotta get that one, Okay, now I gotta pin you.
Bro.
And that's you're going through a table in a lot of ways. Like I want 3 table situations. I want to slam you through a table. I want to jump off the top rope through a table, and then I want to gore you through a table.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to do all 3 before this match ends. And the Dudley Boys are the reason for that.
Yep.
If I had a friend over, we're 3D and somebody through that table.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because of the Hardy Boys, I needed to jump off of something into that table.
Yep.
Like this is what we're doing. And yeah, that feud, because like you had to pick a team. There was no, I just like all of them, or I don't know. You had to care. Yep. You had to pick a side. You had that was the way it was. And you know me, went with the Hardys every time.
Of course.
The majority of us did.
Yeah.
I was a little more, I leaned a little Dudleys, but I definitely was Hardys. I hope they won most of the time.
But I mean, I understood why you want the Dud. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Because that whole, like, he would push him and then, Devon!
Yeah, exactly.
Get the table!
Yeah, I got a hype whenever that would happen. And I was like, I know one of my guys is about to go through this table, but we're here. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Especially when they did Man Young like that. Remember when they put her through
anybody can get it.
Bubba Ray did not care.
Yeah.
Wasn't she like
he gave when you did it?
Yeah, like I don't know if she was in a neck brace already or if she was in one the next week, but I was like, he broke that poor old lady.
Bro, they was wilding. The fact that she took those bumps is still crazy to me.
Yeah. At 106 years old.
Exactly.
Like she was ancient.
She died.
She's dead. Yep.
Yeah.
She's dust now. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, the concerto. Loved the concerto.
Oh yeah. Them things, boy.
Yeah, just clap. Like
yeah, it caused a lot of injury, shortened careers. But yeah.
I was about to say you definitely got a concussion.
Yeah. And as an audience member, that's what I needed.
No, I get it.
I needed y'all hurt. I needed you to put your body on the line for these dollars I'm really not giving you.
Exactly. I'm stealing all these pay-per-views. Yeah.
Like I'm 8 years old. And so absolutely. That was again, they are tag team wrestling to me. They are extreme tag team wrestling. They are like tag team wrestling where you don't have to actually like tag, where everybody's in it once.
Yep.
We're all going.
Yep.
And we're all fighting for the same thing.
Yep.
I will say I don't like that Edge and Christian won both times.
Bro, that used to piss me off.
Yeah, I was like, because that's the one tag team I don't want to win.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't
Everybody
want them
hated
to
them.
win either.
Like,
That's when they
please
was
give
doing
me
the
one of the other
stupid
two. But like,
cheeseheads thing. Yeah, that was dumb.
yeah,
Super
so
dumb.
that was the only thing I was like, can we not do that?
Yeah, I know.
But
Still don't get that,
but yeah, they influenced a lot of bad decisions
hmm
whenever I had a trampoline and a friend.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Somebody getting that power bomb, somebody getting that 3D, somebody's
Yep.
getting a senton.
Like,
Yep.
don't let one of my younger cousins be over. Oh, oh yeah. Come here, little daddy. So yeah.
Oh snap,
Yeah,
bro.
they
Stupid.
remember the trampoline times.
Come here, little daddy. Oh snap. Uh all right. Shoot, that's hilarious. All right. Number 3 for me. I gotta go Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano in NXT. Just that rivalry, bro. They had like a 2 out of 3 falls match. They was like bringing back old school, like, you know what I mean, like, um, title implications, and it was just some of it was like they was kicking out of way too much stuff. Some of the stuff was
Man,
like, all right, we doing a little too much, but I loved Adam Cole. Loved Adam Cole. Undisputed Era is one of my favorite factions of all time. Gargano, due to that match and that like this rivalry particularly, and I knew about him and Ciampa, but this rivalry is kind of what sold me on. Oh, okay, Gargano's like that, like one of them guys. You know what I mean? He ain't just an underdog dude. He's actually one of them dudes as far as NXT is concerned. And yeah, man, their match was fun, bro. It was classic NXT, two smaller guys, not cruiserweights, but two like smaller technician guys who can do a lot of stuff. And man, it was just the crowd was going crazy anytime they had a match. And yeah, it was kind of two of the people that like put me up on NXT. I kind of missed the Nakamura era, the Samoa Joe era, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. I kind of missed that era, and so these guys kind of carried it for me, anyways. So yeah, that was one of my favorites.
we're number 3, right?
Yep.
I got Undertaker versus HBK.
Oh yeah, that definitely should be up there. Yep.
And that was a
Like we
long feud too.
Yeah.
super long feud.
2 years.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that
First
occurred
time.
over 2 calendar years.
Yep.
Then they brought
beautiful.
it back. Then they brought it back, and I don't like mentioning this when they did that Saudi Arabia
Oh,
crap.
bro, we don't even talk about that. We don't talk about that one.
I didn't want to bring up, but for the people who don't know, that actually did happen in real
No,
life.
it did. It did. And that's how you know how they were selling out for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, they was just get that Saudi money.
But bro, so I was kind of out on wrestling during that time, but I didn't know that HBK challenged Undertaker, lost, then came back, challenged him again. Taker was like, hell no. And then so HBK was like, all right, I'm gonna enter the Royal Rumble because Taker was a champion. And then went that, like, I love that stuff. Where like they got to go the long route to get to whatever their goal is. Like that was fire to me.
Then brought Triple H in, like after that was like, okay,
yeah,
you ended this. Now Sean gonna be a ref in this cell, and we're gonna do this at WrestleMania. After that,
classic. Those are probably like his Undertaker's best WrestleMania matches, which is saying a lot. But like with them two, like him versus DX essentially, like that's a good choice.
I agree. My number 3's gotta be one that we kind of touched on earlier in the game. Ray and Eddie.
Nice. Yep.
Because again, that was compelling stuff. They had like week to week. I was like, I have to know the fate of this child, who's not much younger than me,
right?
But,
I was just saying,
like I have to know where he ends up.
Yeah,
like, is he going to be a evil ass Eddie Guerrero's house
right.
by the end of this, or because I could look at him and I was like, no, you are absolutely Rey Mysterio's son. Like I can see it in your face.
Right.
But does the court know that?
Right, exactly. You're taller than your dad already.
Yeah, like who knows what's gonna. So yeah, I was but yeah, that whole thing was very, very interesting to watch in real time.
Right. Absolutely.
Eddie, he did such a good job.
He really did.
He really did.
Carrying that. It was masterful.
He's such a good heel. It's crazy. He can be just as
Such a good heel.
A babyface is just as good as a heel. It's crazy.
That's like, I think that he likes being a heel, but there was a point when he was trying to be a heel, but we liked him.
Yeah, he was just too good at it.
Yeah, I was like,
he was too good at it.
Like, Eddie, we like you. Like, yeah. I know you're a heel, but like, you're not one of those heels that people like actually dislike. Like,
right.
We're glad you're here.
Exactly.
And we kind of want you to win a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, we want to see if you can get away with this.
Yeah, we just want to see you cheat. How are you going to cheat this week? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, please cheat.
Because exactly.
That's what we want to see. Like, if you don't get away with it, then we're like kind of upset.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we're going to look at the ref like, what the fuck are you doing?
Exactly. You don't. That's not cheating. Like,
you just like you want clean. What's wrong with you?
Like he's just being tactical. Like,
yeah, that's not cheating, bro. What are you talking about? That's funny though. No, really good choice. And bro, dating back to WCW days, the rivalry is just so long and so deep, so much history there. Amazing, amazing matches. Number 2 for me, I got The Rock and Triple H. The Rock and Triple H to me had an amazing rivalry that did not get finished at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, like they should have had a WrestleMania match to kind of end it, but all their matches up until that point, like. And Triple H just talked about how, like, he feels like him and Rock are, like, so close because they grew up together, basically. Like, they both started with the failed, gimmicks, then got changed, got a cool gimmick. Then they both were going for the IC title. Then cool, all right, now they get to level up. Now they're going for the, the world title. And
they were in factions at the same time, too, right?
Exactly. Yep. They were in factions, Nation Domination, DX going against each other. A little bit of blackface in there. We won't talk about that.
I was about to mention that.
Yeah.
Then we'll leave that to X-Pac. X-Pac. But just their rivalry, bro. Especially when like anytime Stone Cold would like get injured or taken out the picture a little bit, them two just got to focus on each other. Amazing stuff, bro. Amazing. And I just feel like, Triple H doesn't get the, recognition he deserves to me as a wrestler. Like, to me, he's top 5. Just because, he's one of the best baby faces we've seen and obviously one of the greatest heels. And you don't have a Stone Cold, The Rock. Who was the main person they was going against during that hottest era? They was going against Triple H. You know what I'm saying? Right. So
I would say if there's a big 3, it's probably The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H for that time period. Yeah. As much as, as important as the GOAT is to me.
Right.
The big 3 of the time was probably The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H.
Yeah, bro. Like, and I just feel like a lot of people forget about the Triple H part. Like, they just don't throw him in there.
The Rock, Stone Cold, like,
right.
That's
when you're
up with those two, like that's
right. But like,
and Triple H was able to get a lot done when like Stone Cold was hurt or like when The Rock was doing movies. Like Triple H was able to get a lot done. And the thing is, how I knew I respected Triple H way more than I realized I did is when he came back. Because
that's everybody.
Whenever he hurt his quad, when he came back, I lost my mind,
bro.
And then I was like, why? I don't even fuck with Triple H like that. Why? Why am I this? Why do I have this feelings now?
I think that was awakening for literally everybody. Everybody was like,
wait, like how much we missed that dude.
Yeah, why am I
I had no idea that I felt that way about Triple H until it happened in real time. Like, my mom had to make sure I was good. Like, she came in the room like, what happened? Like, Triple H is back. Like,
yeah, man. Like, Triple H is just my god, bro. When we used to, because I had a trampoline and we would do like entrances. Remember that old like CD that had The Rock on the cover, and it had like music on it. Had R-Truth
Yeah.
song. Had Triple H song had just came out. The game just came out, so that would be my interest music. And bro, like it's just fire. It was just everything about it was fire.
I practiced spitting water.
Oh my god!
Way more than I should have, and I could never, because he would, when he did it was a mist.
It was a projectile mist. Yeah,
like that. It makes no. I still can't do it.
I can't either.
Like I don't know how he does it, but yeah, like every time it would just rain on me.
Yeah,
I was like, I
puddle of water on the floor.
I cannot make this mist happen. Right. How is he doing it?
Yeah.
Then also after he did that other one where like he just take a breath and it just comes out.
Yeah, like there was a second. Yeah, like there was the up mist and then there was the forward mist, and I was like, how the fuck is he doing this?
How much water do you have in your mouth?
Right, facts. Like, and he would take the water at the ramp. I'm like, how do you keep this? You know what I mean? But yeah,
like it would just be in his mouth, and he'd look around.
Yeah,
both sides. To time it with the music, it was.
Yeah, man, that rivalry. I could do Triple H and The Rock or Triple H and Stone Cold, whichever one I chose, but decided to go with The Rock on this one. But yeah, Triple H, he made a great rivalry. Literally anybody he went up against, but that's my number 2.
My number 2 is Austin Rock.
Okay.
And it's the reason why I put them number 2, which we'll get to
here in a minute.
I like it.
Those two, those are my top 2 of all time.
Right.
And it was kind of weird because if you think about it, like a lot of people of color like Stone Cold, but you'd be like, wait, why are you not going with the dude who looked black?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people was like that. It was like, I like Stone Cold because he was crazy.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Yeah, I was just like, he going against the white dude, basically. He's going against all the authority. So I was like, hey.
The man. Yep.
Going against the man. Like, I like that.
Right.
And with The Rock, it was just like, you saw him come up to be that.
Yeah.
After a while. And just the back and forth they always had when they talked.
Yep.
It was like they held their own. With The Rock, anytime he go against anybody, it's just like, okay, he's about to just kill this dude.
Right.
When it's with Austin, it's like it's a back and forth. Like you can see them pissed off at each other all the time.
Yep.
And just the matches on top of that was just that last match, Austin's last match with The Rock. I still watch that.
Yeah. To this day, I'm pissed. I didn't know that was his last match. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know why I was just unaware. I had a different feeling about the match as a Stone Cold fan, but I didn't know like the factual, like, okay, this is his last match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were children. We didn't know any better.
It's true.
And if you look at it now, you can definitely see like, oh yeah,
you
can tell this is his last.
You can tell the way he walks to the ring. At the end, like Rock rolls out of the ring, gives him his moment. You know what I mean? You knew, but I was just like, I hadn't seen many wrestlers retire, so I was just like, what is going on? Like, why are we sending this dude off? Like, what are we doing? He's gonna be here next week. But I didn't know.
Especially when Rock pushed a referee, like after he pinned him.
He did. He definitely did. He's like, get out.
He's like, get out. I'm talking to him. And he said something to him.
He did.
And gave him a pat and went to do his thing.
Yep. Because that was like heel Rock, Hollywood Rock. Yeah.
That was Hollywood Rock.
Yeah. Good choice.
My number 2, and I feel like this is most people's number 1, at least I imagine, is going to be Stone Cold versus the McMahon.
I like it.
There are a lot of people that lived through Stone Cold in those moments where, their boss was not being great.
Yep.
And we've all imagined stunning somebody in our lives.
Yeah.
The fact that Stone Cold was able to go out there and stun the entire family, not just Vince. Like, every McMahon could get a stunner.
Could get it.
Stunners were rated E for everyone.
Yep.
And like he would go out there and he'd stun Vince. Linda come out pissed off, talking shit. She may or may not slap him. She getting one too.
Yeah.
Shane comes out trying to protect his mom. He, pushes Stone Cold, stunner for you. Stephanie comes out yelling and crying, making a scene, and a stunner for you. Like it was so great. But yeah, like
then offer him a beer. Yep.
Yeah, all the stuff. The hospital scene with the bedpan.
Oh,
I can't. I didn't know what to do with that.
Yep.
Yeah, Stone Cold, he was he's all of his rivalries honestly were just so good. And even when they weren't rivalries, even when he was cool with somebody, like all that was good too.
Hilarious.
But yeah, Stone Cold versus the McMahon, because that hit a lot of like, because I didn't have a boss at the time. I wasn't working,
right.
So I didn't feel it the way that I did later
to that level. Yeah.
But yeah, like I know that for that time he was exactly what people needed in real life.
Thanks.
And yeah, that rivalry. I mean, and also shout out to Vince for like going through all of that himself.
Yep. Yeah, he saw the money signs.
Like Vince, Vince gets his hands dirty. Like he doesn't have to be as involved as he was, but he, knew that him being the villain himself would generate a lot of, attention and buzz. And it was quality stuff.
Really was. Elite.
So that is one good thing that Vince did was, take all those stunners.
Yeah.
And Vince did a lot of stuff for the company.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the best rivalries that we'd ever seen, was Stone Cold and Vince, but like just the McMahons in general. Like Vince against the chairman of the board.
Right, yeah.
Or Stone Cold against the chairman of the board.
Yeah. Classic. Now it makes sense. My number one, L talked about it, Stone Cold versus The Rock. It's the first time I had seen two baby faces go up against, especially that second one. To me, that second one is where my heart is. That last one was Hollywood Rock versus Stone Cold. We get it, bad guy versus good guy. But that one in the middle, and we all know that promo video.
Yes.
The hype video
lives in my head.
The greatest hype video of all time.
I don't care what nobody says. Like a week or two ago.
Yeah. Yep. Just one.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to watch this after this.
Right. Bro, that was the first time I'd seen where it was executed picture perfectly, where you have a baby face versus a baby face. They have history, but the main thing is I have to beat you. It's not a personal thing. It is I have to beat you because I want to win the title, but I also, for pride's sake, I have to say I beat you. And I feel like that is the most underused thing in wrestling to me nowadays. Is like, not everybody has to have a blood feud. Not everybody got to talk about each other's mama or anything like that. Like, where I don't have to sneak attack you. It could just be like straight up, I want to beat you. Yeah, I want to win the title, but I want to just beat you specifically, just to say I'm better than you, because we're the two best in the business right now. And bro, just that rivalry, because it was just like you said, like it was beautiful because like they weren't sneak attacking each other. It was just straight up. 1 week, Austin would accidentally bump into The Rock, and The Rock would be like, "Oh hell no!" Like, and then next week he get a rock bottom, and then of course Stone Cold like, "Nah, you're not about to. Like, I got to get you back." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They offer a beer, and then you just the tension would you just feel the tension, and then like they just start going to blows just out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And so yeah, just that rivalry alone, bro. It was like a through line, even during the invasion thing. Like Stone Cold was a heel at this time, but like they still went at it against each other during that time, when the invasion was the biggest story in wrestling at the time. So yeah, man, that's the rivalry I think of that will always have my heart. I don't think any rivalry would ever take the place of this number one. Again, like this is the greatest hype video. If you ever need to hype yourself up, if you ever need to go to work, you know what I mean, you're not feeling it that day, watch that hype video. You will be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? You need to go work out, whatever you need to do. Watch that video. You will be ready to rock. Yeah, that's my number one.
My number one, just like Spencer just alluded to, is Austin versus Vince.
Yep. It's a good pick.
Like that's without that, we wouldn't get Austin versus Rock.
It's true.
Because remember, Rock was a part of
the corporation. Yep.
Part of the corporation. That was his muscle.
Yep.
Was the Rock. And just like you said, that whole hospital scene with Mankind and that dang bedpan hitting Vince's head.
Bro, that was hard as hell.
Yeah.
Forever will be the funniest thing I ever hear.
I can hear the sound. Like I can see it. Yeah.
Like if I see that on YouTube, I will turn that volume up just so I can hear that hit his skull.
Right.
Then also messing up like 1,000 cars of everybody's with the cement truck or running it over.
Yeah, the beer truck.
Oh my gosh.
With the hose.
Truck. Yes.
Yep. Rock was in there too.
Drink out, so drink some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or even the whole thing with Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah.
That was a part of Vince too.
Yep.
Because that was kind of like he kept putting people in front of himself, so he won't be taking all these stunners. Mike Tyson was a part of that.
Yep.
And DX was a part of all of that too. So it's just like he kept putting obstacles in front of Austin, and Austin was like, after a while, I'm gonna take all of y'all down. Even the Undertaker. Remember when he was on the dang cross?
Yep.
Like
because what was it? The ministry was with the corporation for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like he tied everything with them two, everything that was tied in together.
Yep, that's true.
That's definitely my number one.
It's a good pick. Good pick.
Yeah, it should come as no surprise what my number one's gonna be.
I honestly I didn't know. I knew one person was involved, but now I know. Now I know what it is.
It's the GOAT versus Kane.
Yep.
That's it's easy. The fact that the Undertaker was this, giant menacing figure presence that like no one could do anything about, and then they found somebody who could do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the brothers storyline, I just knew they were brothers.
Oh yeah, everyone did.
Boy. Yeah.
And the fact that that's anytime anybody says like, what is one wrestling story you believed or like thought was real or like any of that, I just knew they were brothers. I didn't question it. Like I knew it for a fact.
Yeah.
And finding out that they weren't actually bothered me. The fuck you mean they're not related in real life?
Right.
Like I had a problem with that. And I was like way too old when I found out that they weren't brothers. Like I think like deep into teenage, like we're talking Obama was president when I found out.
Wow.
Yeah, like it was late.
Yeah.
Like they weren't even a tag team anymore. Like we were good and past that. Kane had 3 other tag teams by then.
Like he didn't have his mask. He didn't have his mask off and everything.
His mask is off. Yeah, like he's off doing his own thing. And yeah, I found out late, and I was not happy about it. So, yeah, but anyway, the fact that Paul Bearer had been with the Undertaker this whole time, and Paul Bearer gonna come in with the double cross.
Yep.
And then like they found. And the Undertaker did a great job of like convincing me that was, and
really
the whole like story thing with, like the Undertaker was just a terrible person and he burned down their childhood home. And that's why Kane's face is all fucked up and all that, like all of it. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
It happened.
Bro, I took it all in. I was like, oh my gosh.
They had burned alive matches. Kane got set on fire.
Yep.
Man.
In like he got set like that. There's no faking that. He was on fire.
He was.
And this, it's a good thing it wasn't tank top Kane because there wouldn't have been a way to do that. One arm Kane. Yeah, we're gonna set one arm Kane on fire.
Right.
But yeah, that whole thing, and then for it to come together for them to then be the Brothers of Destruction, which was a great name by the way.
It really is.
The first time I saw it, we heard Kane's music, and then Roland came on. I was like, "Oh my god!" Oh, and then they walked out together. I was like, "This is I don't know what to do right now. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I didn't know I needed it, but I did." But yeah,
thanks.
The rivalry anyway was it was perfect. It was very well done. Again, they convinced me.
Yeah.
For a long time.
And I mean, that's one of the, like, when you think rivalry, like, that's that's the picture perfect when you trying to define a rivalry, because that's like some Shakespeare type stuff. Like, it's literally a story behind it that we didn't get to see.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a lot of past that was weaved in. They brought in the childhood time, and like all of it was just, it was so good. Right. And again, like, the fact that Kane, and he wasn't, like, he was a relatively new Kane. Like, he had just been in the game for forever.
Right.
Like, got set on fire.
Yeah.
And the fact that and their matches were good, because when you see 2 minute that size, that should not be a good match. Like, that should be a waste of everybody's time. Like,
shout out to Kane, because they tried. They wasn't the same story, but, like, in the 90s, like, they was throwing anybody a Taker, and he was just chopping them down. It was big dudes too that were garbage. Yeah. I mean, awful. But yeah, they threw Kane, and it was like, oh, this guy can actually wrestle.
Yeah, they threw somebody that was athletically a match.
Right.
For him, like, in all the ways, like, as far as size, strength, speed, quickness, technical skills, like, all of that. Like, they got somebody who could hang with the Undertaker physically.
Yeah.
And
it was dope, man.
They tied in all the supernatural shit and all of, it was it was an easy number one for me.
Didn't he kind of debut in that cell match?
Yeah, he ripped the
door off.
Yep. That's what made it so crazy.
I was like, who the heck is this dude?
And then the Undertaker was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like the Undertaker's face, and then he got tombstone. And I was like, no, you didn't just tombstone.
Bro, like that, because just to see someone pick Taker up that easy, hit him with his own move, it was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's almost like he saw a ghost.
It really was. And you just didn't.
I thought you was dead, baby.
Yeah. And Taker never showed emotion during that time. So
that's what made it so much better, was like the whole supernatural thing, and the fact that the Undertaker was like, oh, this is ain't nobody been able to hang with me, but this the one right here.
Right, yeah.
I got this light and you got this fire. I'm like, wait a minute.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, man. That was beautiful. That's a good choice. Really good choice. But yeah, man. Good time. It was a good time. Had some good moments during the game. Definitely pushed us to the limit there. I'm excited to see what the next batch is. And top 5 is always a good time. But Spenser, I always appreciate y'all hopping on with me. And appreciate y'all always hopping on. Appreciate all those who tapping in and listening. You can always catch us on the social medias, Facebook group, Twitter. We have an Instagram now, so you can holler at us there. L, do you have an Instagram? I think you anti-social media.
I wouldn't say anti. It's just a whole bunch of mess.
Got you. I know you're on Twitter, so.
No, I am on Twitter.
Yeah.
Instagram that's a question mark. That one could be a question mark. We'll see.
Yeah. Definitely, we need to get you in the Facebook group. We need to get you in there. But yeah, you can hit up Spenser as well. You guys have any, start, bench, or cut thoughts on any of the ones that we chose that you guys maybe disagree with or anything, or top 5s? Definitely let us know. But otherwise, we out. Yeah.